There are fads and styles in the stock market just as there are in women's clothes. He should take extreme care to own not the most, but the best. Forecasting is like trying to turn lead into gold. I have already made up my mind, don't confuse me with facts. The successful investor is usually an individual who is inherently interested in business problems. In the stock market, a good nervous system is even more important than a good head. Never promote someone who hasn't made some bad mistakes, because if you do, you are promoting someone who has never done anything. More money has probably been lost by investors holding a stock they really did not want until they could, at least, come out even, than from any other single reason. Practical investors usually learn their problem is finding enough outstanding investments rather than choosing among too many. Be extra careful when buying into companies and industries that are the current darlings of the financial community. Large companies need to bring in a new chief executive from the outside. Is a damning sign of something basically wrong with the existing management. The stock market is filled with individuals who know the price of everything, but the value of nothing. Buying a company without having sufficient knowledge of it may be even more dangerous than having inadequate diversification. Usually a very long list of securities is not a sign of the brilliant investor, but of one who is unsure of himself. Constant leadership in engineering, not patents, is the fundamental source of protection. The wise investor can profit if he can think independently of the crowd and reach the rich answer when the majority of financial opinion is leaning the other way. When profit margins of a whole industry rise because of repeated price increases, the indication is not a good one for the long-range investor. This matter of training oneself not to go with the crowd but to be able to zig when the crowd zags, in my opinion, is one of the most important fundamentals of investment success. I had made what I believe was one of the more valuable decisions of my business life. This was to confine all efforts solely to making major gains in the long run. The more successful the corporation, the more likely it is to be unique in some of its policies. It is not the profit margins of the past, but those of the future that are basically important to the investor. Finding out which physician had lost the smallest percentage of his practice through death would not be a good way to pick a superb doctor. The need for patience if big profits are to be made from investment. None of us likes to admit to himself that he has been wrong. There is a complicating factor that makes the handling of investment mistakes more difficult. This is the ego in each of us. I believe that the economics which deal with forecasting business trends may be considered to be about as far along as was the science of chemistry during the days of alchemy in the Middle Ages. Nothing is worth doing unless it is worth doing right. Philip Arthur Fisher was an American stock investor best known as the author of Common Stocks and Uncommon Profits, a guide to investing that has remained in print ever since it was first published in 1958. His career began in 1928 when he dropped out of the newly created Stanford Graduate School of Business. Later, he would return to be one of only 3 people ever to teach the investment course, to work as a securities analyst with the Anglo-London Bank in San Francisco. Thanks for watching. If you like, please share and subscribe.